What is up, my friends? It is Friday, it is the late night agenda, and your weekend has officially begun. We have loads to get through tonight. We're going to be talking about reports coming out of Spain about Jude Bellingham's next destination. We're going to be speaking about Liverpool's pursuit of PSV Eindhoven midfielder Ibrahim Sangar, and a few other bits and pieces along the way, including a potential shock destination for Joel Matip should he move in the summer. You know the drill by now, my friends. I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do drop a like on the video, and of course, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. Now, we know Liverpool play Spurs on Sunday. Of course, there will be a watch along and a preview for that coming up. The preview will be coming out tomorrow morning, so keep an eye for that. So let's get straight into it tonight with regards to the news roundup surrounding transfers. So, coming out of Spain, there's a report that says that Jude Bellingham has made his decision on his next club, and his next club is going to be Real Madrid. That's according to AS over in Spain, and I think they're speaking out of their AS, if I'm being completely honest with you, because one, there's been no agreement between the two clubs over a fee. Two, the information that I have differs to the information here. And three, I find it a little bit convenient that just after Harry Redknapp has mentioned the fact that somebody told him that Jude Bellingham maybe wants to go to Madrid, that all of a sudden there's a story breaking from the Spanish side claiming that he's made his decision. I don't believe this to be the case, but I guess we'll wait and see. Like I've said all along, let's just wait and see what happens. One of the main reasons, by the way, that I don't believe this to be the case isn't because I don't believe Real Madrid's an attractive destination. It isn't because I don't believe that maybe Jude Bellingham would look there and think good place to go play football. They're obvious. I can't come back against that. I can't combat that way of thinking. But my point in this is I truly believe that he is not Real Madrid's number one target, and that they are going to be preparing a big basket full of eggs for a certain Frenchman who may be looking to leave Paris this summer. And I've always believed that he's their number one target. Now, people will say to me, Craig, they've tried that. He walked away. He made his decision. And yes, Real Madrid won't want to look foolish. They won't want to do what they did last summer. But they will if we get a certain acknowledgement from Kylian Mbappe that maybe he made the wrong decision, and maybe he looks back and thinks, if only, then I think we see this story start to gather pace. And that's one of the main reasons why I don't believe that Jude Bellingham will end up at Real Madrid. So again, I want to know your thoughts. Do you agree with this publication coming out of Spain? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Harry Redknapp? Or do you think that he will remain another season at Borussia Dortmund? Again, all this is just media speculation and talk until we get a definitive from Borussia Dortmund or from the Jude Bellingham camp about what's going to happen in the future. I still think there are a few more twists and turns to go in this one. So, going to push on now and speak about something that kind of caught my eye today, a bit of a surprise, and we haven't heard much about Ibrahim Sangar over the past 6 months or so. I was shocked that he didn't leave PSV Eindhoven last summer. I thought we may see, I don't want to say a bidding war, but I certainly thought there would have been many Premier League clubs looking for his services. But this report from 90 Min say that Liverpool were amongst many clubs, including Arsenal, who were watching his performance on Sunday for PSV Eindhoven. Again, it makes sense. You know, it is a style of midfielder. He is a style of midfielder, I should say, that I could see acclimatizing to the Premier League and to what Jurgen Klopp would want at Liverpool. But I think he would be maybe one of a host of options that we're looking at. I have a similar type profile player as well. But look, this is probably sensible. We should be running the rule over many midfielders around Europe and making sure that we get the right ones in. Now, on the midfielder search, I want to just go back to bookies odds, because you know I like to look at these things as a just an indication of where people's thought processes are. So if you're ever looking at odds for transfers, they're not saying that this is what's likely going to happen. They're more saying this is what people think and where they're laying their money. So Sports Post or Sporting Post have Liverpool still as the favourites for Mason Mount's next move. Chelsea, staying at Chelsea, are still 2-1. Liverpool are 6-4 to sign him. Him to stay at Chelsea is 2-1. Bayern Munich 5-2. Manchester United 4-1. And Arsenal 20-1. No mention there of Manchester City, by the way, who you've probably seen in the media quite a bit over the last week or so, have apparently been interested in Mason Mount. And this is why I always tell you to take a lot of these things with a pinch of salt, because I think he stays at Chelsea, in all honesty. If he does leave, well, I'm not fussed if he comes to Liverpool. And I've mentioned this a few times in the last week. I've kind of grown weary of it already. You know, it was exciting maybe a little minute when we first seen the links, but now I'm over it, if I'm being honest. And I think there are certainly better players that Liverpool could be looking to bring in. Barella, of course, being one of them. In fact, you know what? There's so many I prefer ahead of Mason Mount. The only box ticked really by the Mason Mount thing is that he's homegrown and he would tick that box in our quota and he's Premier League tested. So I want to move on to Joel Matip now, because obviously Liverpool have been mentioned as being in the market for a centre back in the summer should Joel Matip leave the club. He's got 1 year to go and it looks like Liverpool may look to cash in. But interestingly enough, there's a report coming out today that suggests that Jose Mourinho is interested in adding him to the ranks at Roma. And it makes sense. I think that would be a good signing for Mourinho. I think it'd be a good signing for Roma. And we've seen just recently in the game midweek how important Joel Matip can be, how good he can be. I mean, his level when he plays, when he's fit, is top notch. Always has been. He's been very, very consistent at Liverpool. And it didn't surprise many of us that he slipped back into the team midweek and performed well, got man of the match, and we left West Ham with the points. So again, yeah, sensible link, and again, could be a very good piece of business for Jose Mourinho. The search for Liverpool's sporting director, by the way, is still underway. Paul Gorst has said that Liverpool are looking at a handful of targets and to bring in a handful of midfielders, and I don't know who we're going to get as a sporting director. I really don't. We know Julian Moore's leaving in the summer, but the club seem to be relatively tight-lipped about who may come in. The Dominic King has said that Liverpool are fully concentrating on the transfer business at the minute, and Jurgen Klopp would like to get the players in before July the 8th, which makes sense. Liverpool are going to have a pre-season in Germany, and then there will be some potential friendlies that I've seen mentioned for maybe Singapore, Malaysia. But what we know for a fact is Liverpool will be on a pre-season in Europe, in Germany. So keep an eye on that situation. Bit of an injury update as well on Ibrahim Konate. Good news. He will be back available for the game against Spurs at the weekend. But, and I don't want to give away my predictions too early, I find it almost impossible to justify dropping Joel Matip after his player of the match, according to BT Sport, performance. So for me, I think, rest up. If Canade needs to be managed, which the article goes on to say this injury does need to be managed a little bit, then let him sit it out and play Joel Matip. He was brilliant against West Ham, so why not let him play this one? One more thing on this as well is that Roberto Firmino, Naby Keita still out and still aren't back reporting for training, but the words Naby Keita and not being fit shouldn't be a surprise to you at this point in your time watching Naby Keita at Liverpool, or should I say the lack of time watching him. Now, one last little thing before we finish up, coming out of France from L'Equipe, said Liverpool are interested in not just one, but two players from Nice, Kefren Thuram and Jean-Claire Todibo. So again, I know a bit about Thuram, but nothing on the other guy. So looking forward to reading your comments. Maybe you can fill me in a little bit. So that brings us to an end of tonight's Transfer Talk video. But as I said, don't forget to check out the preview coming up for tomorrow's game, or excuse me, for the weekend's game. It'll be out tomorrow. We're doing no live shows tomorrow, so it'll just be videos posted up here on YouTube. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend and look forward to seeing you on Sunday for that watch along for the Spurs game. Much love, my friends. Take care. Bye bye.